Hello and welcome to Civic Design News. I'm Daniel Doyle and today I'm presenting our Look Northwest report that takes us to St Helens, where there are growing concerns over carbon efficiency, and with rising energy prices, renewable sources are being called for by local organisations. Chris, our Rural Affairs correspondent, reports.
Today we're here in St Helens at the Fair Tree Farm. This is a farm that's paid particular interest in wanting to provide for its own energy management in the future. Schemes such as solar power and wind turbines can be used on a very small scale like this to provide their own energy for their needs. Furthermore, the surplus can be sold back to the national grid if necessary. Another main problem in St Helens is the existing housing stock, which originally was built in the 50s, as you can see behind me, and suffered a very poor energy efficiency originally. To bring it up to standards, things like double glazing, roof insulation, wall insulation have been applied to these houses through government grants and through the property owners' own funds. These bring it up to the current energy efficiency standards and is a very good way to bring up energy efficiency across the country. Cycling in St Helens is important not only for people's health but also for the environment. St Helens Council has already set up a very robust cycling strategy throughout the borough. Unemployment is relatively high in the district and car ownership is comparatively low, therefore it's important that there is a good cycle strategy in place. Some of the key issues identified by key stakeholders in cycling in St Helens is the disjointed routes throughout the district, as well as a lack of respect shown by drivers on the roads, even in designated cycle areas. Furthermore, when people get to work in town centres, there is often not sufficient space to store their cycles.
Thanks Chris. Okay, let's bring it back to the studio. It appears then that there are answers to these growing environmental concerns. I'm with our expert James, consultant for Langtree Developers. Hi James.
Hi Daniel, thank you for having me here today.
So how do you think residential carbon problems can be solved?
Yes, as your Rural Affairs correspondent Chris quite rightly pointed out, 25% of households in St Helens do not have a car, which means here there's a huge potential to develop cycle routes in and around the area, which will also help to connect economic hubs around the borough.
Interesting. Do you think renewable sources have potential in St Helens?
Absolutely, Daniel. St Helens needs renewable energy just like everywhere else, but it must be done implementing small-scale schemes around the borough, such as on farms or local businesses, because the area just isn't big enough to cater for large-scale schemes such as wind farms or solar farms. I would also like to take this opportunity to introduce our new rail and freight terminal project that we have in the pipelines right now. This will greatly reduce the distance travelled by the lorries, which would usually come up from Southampton to then distribute around the north to places such as Scotland. This is aimed at maximising the potential of St Helens as a logistics hub, and it will help to reduce emissions by 90%. It is geared towards improving efficiency and reducing emissions in the area, and therefore we think this is a hugely influential and yet economically viable project that will help to secure the expansion and economic strength of the borough in the coming years.
Thanks James. The future looks hopeful then as we continue to develop new technologies. That concludes our Look Northwest report for this evening. Stay classy, St Helens.